Who ordered the pizza?
Hello, students of Valley City Community College. It's another beautiful week at everyone's favorite community college. Last week, we had a lot of fun getting to know you all as students. We had a bit of a kerfuffle on the campus. That happened after a quiet get together turned a little bit more into a frightful party that scared all the freshmen. This is Sandy signing off. There's some fun things going on this week, though. If you want to stick around and catch, there's the sparring club is having auditions. No, what are they? Sorry, what are they called? Practices this week at the end of the week. I'm a little drunk still, but we'll check in with you later this week. Welcome back to Valley City Community College, folks. That was me trying to recap what happened last week. We got to know all the characters. We went to a party. We got into a bit of a fight with a grass golem. But before we jump back in, kind of right where we are at the end of this night, let's introduce our characters first. First, we got the owner of the channel, Bert, playing
Derek Michael Johnson, Chicken Eater, Nerd Wizard Beater. I beat up nerds.
Dan playing
Garth Grimknuckle. And I just gotta say, I'm really excited for Sandy to come in and be our Gandalf the White character at the end and save the day.
Seriously, though.
And down in the corner, I guess, or all of you below me, I think, in the setup, we have Jake playing
Andre Jacques Francois Montmed III, and I am the nerd wizard in question.
No, dude, you're my homie. You're my homie.
Oh, also, before we jump into the game, actually, no, that doesn't happen yet. Never mind. You'll see later.
Intrigue.
Well, it's for the intrigue for the audience. You'll know what I mean later.
Flavor text, I'm sure.
Ooh, flavor text.
Ooh.
So the last time we left these characters, you had all contributed in fighting and taking down a grass golem that happened at a party kind of in the front quad of the suites, the dorm building that you guys are all staying in.
It's true, most of us hit it.
Odette, Andre's little sister, kind of swooped in the end. She is a genius and kind of whipped you all together and is said to follow her to Andre's room. So we're going to jump in at Andre's room where you guys are walking down the hallway on your way there following Odette. Let's start a little bit with how these characters are feeling right now. Let's start with some feelings. This is, supposed to be your first kind of week of school. You're getting to know stuff, and you've kind of immediately gotten into this fight again. And these characters also off screen had fought a thing together before at orientation. So these characters have been brought together again by fighting some weird magical apparition that's gone down. So let's go around. We'll start with Garth. Garth, how do you think you're feeling right now?
Oh man, Garth's kind of pumped, and he feels mixed feelings about that because on the one hand, it's not great that a grass golem came and attacked a bunch of people at a party. But on the other hand, this problem is more real and tangible to him than anything he encountered in school that day.
Yeah.
And so in a way, it's a bit like a field op for him. Like, there's a problem, there's a clue, there's a thing to solve, there's probably more people to beat up, and he's pumped. And so right in this moment, I think he's trying not to let adrenaline get the better of him, and he's trying to remember his breathing and keep calm, because he knows that whatever this wizard kid is going to do is probably going to take some time.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you're, kind of in this pack, kind of heading toward this guy's room that you don't really know. Derek, how do you think you're feeling right now? DMJ, first day of school, took a weird turn in the end. You're supposed to, run the 10 miles home, probably be back at your grandparents' place by now.
They're also
how do you think
really
you're feeling?
upset that there's not a couple pounds of chicken being made. They've been probably seasoning it, and they're just gonna end up gaining a lot of weight from that. I'm really worried about Mammy. She's lean. She's lean. She's lean and cut.
She's supposed to gain weight. Her doctor told her she had to gain weight recently. She's too
lean
small.
And cut. We're eating fish on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And,
This is
and
unhealthy
chicken,
for a 70-year-old woman.
chicken all the other days.
But how do you think you're feeling?
Well, clearly upset that I'm not cooking for them, but also a little impressed with myself because I had that really dope line about the ass grass. I feel like I'm just like really in the zone right now. Like I should. There's a little bit of me that like, I don't know, like that I'm like a poet, and like but my pencils are my fists, and my morning star, and I've got all these pens to my disposal, and villains and nerds are my paper.
That was a beautiful metaphor.
Beautiful. It was beautiful. Some beautiful writing from DMJ. So you feel really in the moment, but really proud of yourself for coming up with some good words.
I mean, not anyone can rhyme ass with grass, and it's pretty remarkable that only a second year was able to figure that one out.
Anyone can rhyme ass with grass, but not everyone can give it meaning.
Did Garth say that? Because truthfully, that means a lot.
He would never.
Well, this is all in your head, basically. Let's.
I definitely think Derek was saying that out loud to himself.
You're just like talking out loud
Like, Derek's
about
just
how
like,
smart you
yeah,
are.
these are my pens, and I've got paper everywhere, and it's just poetry's alive in my yeah.
Odette kind of looks up at. Odette looks up at you and is like, "Yeah, who's your favorite poet?"
Myself. I'm a great poet.
Okay, that's mm-hmm. And she looks back at Andre, her older brother, kind of with a look of like, these are the people that we've decided to become friends with. Is that
Yo, homie,
is that what's happening?
Where's your room? I got all these bags to carry.
Andre, how do you think you're feeling in this moment? This is, you jumped into a fight. Your sister kind of is swooping in to save the day, and she's leading everybody to your bedroom, which is like not. I don't know how Andre's feeling about that. Where's Andre's head at?
There's a heavy level of like embarrassment because of Odette overshadowing me. So there's that. I think that's what's on the surface. Underneath, he's definitely causing some trouble that he probably did not want to get into. This was supposed to be an easy ride. I was supposed to get out of here pretty quickly. Things are not going that way, so that there's probably a bit of annoyance underneath that. And then probably underneath all of that is like, why does this guy keep following me around? Why do I keep running into these people? They're
this
all
guy being Derek. What is this Goliath?
Why is this Goliath following me around? Why does he think we're friends?
We are friends, bro.
I don't know. Maybe I'll find a use for him later. Maybe I'll find a use for him later.
Got it. So you guys head to the room that's Andre's. Garth, you maybe noticed that this is actually the room directly below yours. This is 304. You live in 404, and you maybe remember back to the first day of school where the room before yours said something quite nasty to you. And Andre, you let everybody in. As the door opens to this room, immediately right to your right, you guys see this like living room setup that's connected to this kitchen that's kind of around the corner to your right, which is and then down the hallway to the left. It's a long hallway, and there are 4 rooms on this hallway, and there's a bathroom all the way at the end of the hallway. So Garth, you would know what this looks like. This is the setup to the dorms. Essentially, yours looks exactly the same. Derek, this is, I don't know, you've been here a semester beforehand. Do you think you ever went to a party, or do you think you've been inside this building ever?
I've been Derek, I've been around here a couple times, lady friend or two.
You've been invited to some things.
Maybe some beer pong with the freshies.
Yeah, so you've been here before, so you kind of also recognize this. The interesting thing about this room is that it immediately looks like it's been lived in for months and months on end, even though everyone's been here about a week. There are, Andre lives with 3 other people who are good friends from beforehand, and the 3 of them are actually hanging out in the living room right now with a bunch of other people. Some people that actually, if you guys want to roll me an insight or perception check, you're welcome to.
Of course,
I'm mad I rolled luck to see if I had gotten with freshmen now. That was a wasted 16.
I got a 7.
Weird. That's a 15 perception.
Okay, Derek?
That is an adjusted 8.
Okay,
With proficiency.
That's an actual 11 from me.
So our 7 and our 8. Derek, you walk in, and this is just a room of stoners. I'll give you that with an 8. You know that this is a room of people who are stoners. Andre, with your 7, I'm sure the only thing you feel is annoyance, that there are more of them and that they seem, as they have multiplied, there's a whole bunch of them in here right now. Garth, you look out into this group of people and you recognize, because what happened at the party was everybody was hanging out, and then it seemed like there was a group of stoners possibly doing something, or at least people on some kind of drugs doing something in the center of the party that ended up turning into this grass golem. Garth, you were the one who noticed before the fight really kicked off that the people who were posing as people who were on drugs were not like the people who you had seen hanging out with a group of stoners who were all the way across the field doing their own thing. You look into this room full of people, and there's like a chunk of them in here. Like, it seems like not all of them, but it seems like after the party kind of dispersed, which led you guys here, they got here first, and they've been hanging out here for a moment now. But Odette is going to lead everybody down the hall to the second room, which is Andre's. Opens the door and kind of is like, oh, warning everybody, someone's gotten a bit messy. And you guys get inside, and Andre's room does not look messy. It might look messy to a prissy elf because Andre has like a shirt on a chair and maybe like a little pile, like the closet door is open.
Derek progresses to drop all 5 of his bags in 5 different locations.
Please make yourself at home.
Derek drops his bags, and they just somehow get everywhere immediately.
The footballs just start spilling out of the football bag.
Don't worry, Reginald will clean the. Oh wait.
Oh no! Don't worry, dude. I'll pick them up tomorrow.
Odette rolls her eyes. What do you do, Garth?
I think that Garth kind of has from the walk over has kind of grown to understand that Odette is sort of the one in charge here.
And Odette is a 12-year-old elf. She is younger by a lot. She's a
right, but Garth. I think Garth probably has experience to give him understanding that sometimes age, maturity, and skill are not always, assumable. I think he met a bunch of people who were all over the place in that kind of those areas in his work. So he's gonna turn to her and be like, "So what do you think you can make out of this thing?"
She pulls the crystal out of her pocket, and it is like this. It looks like it's like a kind of a hunk of it, like almost like a slice of watermelon in the shape. Like, it is kind of pointed and maybe a little curved at the end. And the bottom of it is like kind of whiter. It looks like it's white, and then it kind of fades into this green color as it gets to the top. And she puts it down and she looks it over for a second, and then she takes a moment to sit down at the desk chair and start casting Detect Magic. To kind of get a higher read on this thing. But as she's doing that, she kind of turns to you and she's like, well, what we know about golems is that this is the crystal that kind of formed the golem with its magic, and somebody else is holding the other half or a shard of this crystal and was controlling it telepathically. So somebody out there decided that, for whatever reason, this golem needed to exist in this moment. I don't necessarily, I couldn't say why. But what we do know is that this shouldn't be here. These don't exist anymore. Like, this is a rumor that these golem crystals are still out there and usable, and I don't know what this is. I don't know why it's here. And she kind of continues to cast detect magic. What are you guys doing?
It would
Is
take a
it- I-
high. Oh, I'm assuming it would take like a high level of magic to cast something like that, right? Like that's not something everybody can do. To
Detect
use that
magic?
crystal? No, to use
Oh,
the
to use-
crystal.
To use the crystal. Yeah,
Yeah.
why don't you roll me an Arcana check?
22.
22, yeah. With a 22, you definitely know, like, yeah, using this crystal would be a hard thing to do, and also, like, something kind of painful. Like, you have to really merge yourself with this thing, and it takes a lot of energy out of you, and it's, like, a really kind of big thing to do to your body, essentially, to merge energies and kind of souls almost with this golem creature. Yeah, this is like definitely information that you've probably actually read in a book from your house.
Would I also know what school of magic it takes to cast that kind of spell?
No, not. Your sister is working on that right now, but not with
Okay.
the Arcana check.
Could I
Um,
use my divine sense to like get a reading on the
Nature,
nature?
essence.
Yeah, the essence of it. Like, is
Yeah,
it inherently
sure.
good or bad kind of feeling?
Celestial,
okay.
fiendish, fey.
Yeah.
All right, now you're just making words up.
I
Does
Yeah,
it look
Jake-
like?
Jake's never played D&D in his life before, so this is all just new to him.
I refuse to read books.
So does anything pop up when I use my divine sense on it?
Yeah, so you use your divine sense. What does it look like when you use your divine sense?
I think what I do is to focus on what is right in the world. I grab one of my footballs and I do that thing where like you know how like basketball players like spin the basketball on their finger?
Sure.
I do that with a football, which is like a lot harder, but like I'm really good at football. And I just like spin the football and like
Shit,
look
long.
at
You do
it.
it long ways. You don't even do it like
Yeah,
crossways.
it's long ways, like perfectly, and I'm just like stare at it until it tells me what's going on around me. Because the football doesn't lie.
Okay. I love this. Just for fun, can you roll a dexterity check? You'll still do it, but I just want to see how
How many tries it takes?
just like what the result of this is.
Okay. Flat dex check or
Yeah, just a flat dexterity check.
I add a +1 to that.
Oh, good.
But that's a 19 because the gods know I'm really good at spinning footballs.
Yeah, you spin the football fine. It just kind of spins on your finger. Yeah, with your divine sense, you are not getting necessarily that this thing is of a bad nature, but you're also not getting that it's of a good nature either. It's kind of giving you just, it's here, and that's what it is. Like there's a neutralness to it.
You gotta hate them neutrals. Make a decision.
But what you do feel is that this is, as you tap into kind of tell what kind of, if it's like fae, fiend, celestial, that kind of thing, and this is like magic that you're doing kind of from, your essence within, it feels like it fights back at you for a moment, like it like hurts for a second as you feel like you're trying to tap into this, and you like almost lose control of your football, but you don't. And it feels like it's fae, but it's like it didn't want you to know that.
Ooh. Okay. Fae.
I think Garth's gonna like stand up and walk towards the door of the room and then turn back to Odette and be like, That's gonna take you a minute or two, right?
What? Yeah, literally forgot all of you were here. Yeah, I'm working.
All right, I'll be
Uh,
right back.
I
He,
oh, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
I think Garth would like to go talk to the hippy dippy squad.
okay, cool. You go out and
I was gonna tell her that I found out that it's Faye.
give it a second. We're gonna do Garth's scene first, and then we'll
Fair
come back
enough.
to the room. So you go out into the living room. Stop competing for my attention, please.
I throw a football at Garth's head.
I expertly dodged at the moment.
Are you rolling for that? If
Do I
you
deflect missile? I don't know. I'm not.
No, I'm not wasting one of my footballs.
So don't threaten.
Is that
it.
reskin Lance stats? The football?
They're javelins.
Javelins, yeah.
So you head out into the living room, and this living room is kind of bustling with like this group of people, and they're all kind of sitting down and they're chilling, and they don't really kind of regard you as you walk in. What do you do?
And you said that like at least some of them were definitely there doing like their thing.
Yeah, just like when you saw them, they were quite literally chilling down the quad. Like this was like you clocked them as the grass golem was like really forming, the moment kind of slow motion. And before they realized what was going on, they were just kind of like chilling over there.
Cool. So yeah, I think Garth walks up and he's like, "Hey there, the gang. Weird
Oh
party
shit!
tonight,
It's a
huh?"
cop! It's a cop! And they all kind of
He definitely
start to,
does
like...
give like it's definitely not. I feel like it's definitely narc energy. I don't think it's like Well, we haven't really talked about Garth and the law, but like
they all start just like pulling in their like crap. I'm just like, oh man, no. Here's the thing. This isn't our stuff. Like our friends were here before we were, and got here, and we were like, oh man.
It's cool. I'd have to tell you if I was a cop. That's the law.
Oh shit.
Otherwise, it's entrapment.
Dude. Yeah, you're right though. Like, sit down. you want to hit? And you see they're smoking out of this like weird contraption that they like MacGyvered in the middle of the table.
I think Garth will take a deep breath and like think about it for a second.
You get high. You take a deep breath in this room. You get high.
and then takes a hit. To prove he's cool.
To prove he's cool. Oh, he's not a narc. Narcs wouldn't take a hit.
I think what he wants to ask them is like if they noticed anyone. I don't really know how he would phrase this, but I think he wants to ask them if they noticed anybody like who had been like coming around that day or like been in a smoke circle they didn't recognize or something like that.
Yeah. Why don't you roll me a persuasion check? Or I think. What do you think that you would be? Yeah, it's a persuasion check.
A +1. We'll see how it goes. Natural 17. That's an 18.
Okay, cool. So you kind of what do you ask? You just like, do you see anybody?
I'm trying to figure. I'm trying to suss it because like I know that the people I had seen were gone, and so I'm asking them. I don't know if it's a combination of describing them or just asking them if there were any people they had not recognized that I could like fit to my understanding of them to see if there was anything I could build a lead or a trail on. Like, did you see anybody who looked like this, or was there anyone around talking about grass, or like anything like that? I think it's stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. I think that they're kind of like, man. Vague. This is like, I think this is like, this takes place like over some time that you're out here. Like they're pretty high. So they're like getting distracted and they're, watching TV and also like making taquitos and like, doing their thing. And I think that, if in bits and pieces you hear stuff, them being like, yeah, man, it was a weird day. Like we're, doing our thing. And we're like, I wouldn't say that we're like selling drugs, but if you ever need some, man, you text us. And so we're doing our thing kind of, on the north end of campus, and this like car pulls up and they're like, hey man, we got this new thing that you guys could be selling. And we were like, what? Like that's, we're not really about that. And then like later in the day, we're like walking around, and you're hearing this in bits and pieces. They're like, yeah, man, I was walking around later, and I like walked up to my corner usually, and there was this dude there trying to sell us some stuff, and I was like, that's not like good, man. Like that's not even good shit. And they were like, no, man, we're gonna sell here now. But like I had never seen them before, and you kind of get the vibe that like this group of people interacted with some other group of people who were also interested in selling some kind of drug on the campus, but they weren't anybody that they already recognized. And, you know, it's been like a week of school, but these are, you know, some of these people already know each other from home, and there's, you know, it's already a group of, it's an established group of friends already. And so, yeah, there definitely were like, you get what you end up pulling out of all these conversations is that there were people around today that they had never seen around before, trying to like pose as if they were like already friends with them, or like, you know, people who knew them already, and like it was just kind of a weird vibe. But they like played it like, I'm just like too high, man, and I met him orientation week and I didn't remember, you know, like it's like, what would I know, man? I don't have any brain cells anymore. And they continue to smoke.
I like the idea that it's like the shot would be like of Garth having the conversation, but it keeps like changing the person who's talking because like due to careful editing.
Exactly.
Cool. Like I don't think he's like writing in a notepad. I don't think that's his style, but like that would be the vibe. I think. I mean, like, like.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, man, you're so cool, dude. You gotta come around anytime, man. Like, if you're friends with Andre, I'm sure he'll want to see you all the time. You should just like show up and hang out. Like, he loves when we have guests over.
I think Garth thinks about saying that he lives upstairs, but then says nothing because one thing he has learned is that the trick to actually seeming cool is just never to miss an opportunity to say nothing. And
nice.
So he just kind of nods. And I think he's gonna go back into Andre's room and like sit and like think about what he's learned so far.
Cool.
Maybe meditate on it for say 30 minutes.
As you get in, Odette is in the middle of like ranting, and she's like, "This thing is, this is conjuration magic, and this thing is not of this plane. This thing was not meant to be here. I don't know why. I don't know why it would be here. This is baffling. This is ancient old conjuration magic. Like from when our grandparents were kids. Like this is from before when our grandparents were kids. This feels familiar in my hands, but is somehow the strangest thing I've ever held." And she puts it down.
I look at Andre and go, "Yo, Andre, my football told me it's Fae, but I don't know what the fuck that means."
Yeah, that's weird. I've
heard that used like a couple times in class, but I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it's like an old connection. It's like the old, back before elves were elves, they were Fae. Like that's what we're descendants of, but they don't really talk about that often.
You're Fae.
I guess in a sense, I wouldn't.
Odette rolls her eyes, and she's like, "No, we're elves. The Fae are Fae, and we are elves. That is."
Yeah.
Listen to anything that our parents have told you.
No. Why would I? They're stupid.
Yo, parents are stupid. High five, little bro.
Boom.
This is why our parents.
Do a high five.
This is why our parents divorced you.
You can't divorce your kid.
Hey.
As you'll remember, Odette is now your legal guardian on your birth certificate.
Oh, I forgot.
Appointment and you.
So I have an idea. I'm saying this to the group. And Odette, I'm sure you would have come to this eventually, but you know, it takes a quicker mind to get to this as quickly as I did. Whoever cast that spell probably got hurt while doing it. I'm assuming I have to say this out of character. I'm assuming there's an infirmary on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely it's a like nurse's office situation.
It's a long shot. If this person's doing stuff that's illegal, they're probably not going to end up there, but It's the closest thing we have to a lead right now. Do you guys want to go to the infirmary and see if someone's holed up there that came in with injuries from tonight?
Honestly, dude, I was fixing for an ice bath after my 8-hour workout.
That sounds miserable, but okay.
You
If that's what
gotta
you'd like.
soothe the muscles by freezing them.
Mm-hmm. If that's what it if that's what the upkeep for muscles takes, then it just does not sound worth it to me.
That
Garth is just sitting cross-legged with his shoes off on Andre's bed, like just eyes closed. while
bro,
this
you didn't see I
conversation's
took my
happening.
shoes off. Derek takes his shoes off
No,
instantly.
you didn't know. It's because his feet are on the bed. He didn't want to like.
It doesn't.
Oh,
my
yeah, we need
shoes
to have a
off.
conversation after this.
And this is like a small room, and there's like 5 or 4 of you in here right now, and it just kind of feels a little, it's a little. Garth is like, not Garth. Derek is like 7 feet tall. Like it definitely is a little.
I'm a
little
modest
crowded in
7'4".
here. Very modest.
you might almost hit the ceiling.
But you also have to remember there's 4 people, 5 bags.
So what are you guys doing? Are you guys gonna, Odette is kind of like, she's like, I think I should hold on to this, unless one of you feels that you should be the one.
I'll hold on to it. I got the bags.
He does have the bags.
She kind of sighs and she nods. She goes, okay. And she puts it in like tucks it into your football bag.
It's in my football bag.
Yeah. She did.
Okay.
That's the one that's most open because it's like a
It's
one
the
of those
mesh.
net
It's
bags.
like the mesh lining bag.
I was picturing. Do you know those bags that are just kind of made of like netting? It's
Yeah,
like a big net,
like
and
a
they have
mesh.
like that's yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not a mesh,
All right, so
whatever.
I've got the grass ass gem in my football bag.
Do you all have any interest in going to the
A
infirmary?
song of grass and ass.
Damn, I wish we had a bard.
Is that I don't know. Do we want to check out the infirmary? Is that too much of a long shot? I mean, I know Odette has some grand plans and she's going to speak in nonsensicals all night. I would rather do something that's more grounded in reality.
Odette's in the corner, like the possibilities of this thing that I can fathom the universes inside universes.
Odette, how much sugar have you had today?
What? It's just you don't even just a couple Shirley Temples. You're the one who should. I'm gonna call mom on you.
What's she gonna do? She's not my mom anymore.
He's got a point there. If mom divorced him, then he's not child of mom.
One of the
Really
things I
are.
love about feeling out a new character is that you find boundaries, and I've realized I think Garth is thinking while he's meditating about he's weaving the narrative together based on the things he was told as he's like sitting there and thinking and kind of hearing and firming and thinking, I don't know. But he's just he realizes I'm not going to ask this 12-year-old girl if she knows about developments in the drug trade on campus. We have to find somebody else to talk to.
Wait. Is that Garth or Dan?
This is Dan talking about Garth's thought
Talking
process
about
right now.
Garth.
So I think after Garth like opens his eyes and goes, it didn't look like anybody got injured from using that thing, but I don't have any other places to check out. Maybe we should give Odette some more time to think about this thing and we check out the infirmary.
So, do you guys want to go to the infirmary tonight, or is this something you want to wait for till the next day?
Well, if we waited to the next day, the person who we would hope to find there would more likely be gone.
They'd probably
Okay.
be fixed up and such.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah,
as
honestly,
soon as-
we wasted time listening to your sister.
Are you talking to me, the DM?
Anytime
talking to
anytime you listen to my sister, it's a waste of time.
That's what. Honestly, bro, I only need you and this guy right here. He's got a level head on his head.
You come on very strong.
A level
Very
head on his head.
Odette's like,
what
never
else
forget,
is supposed
I'm
to say?
smarter than you.
Who fucking
and so-
needs smarts when you've got footballs? I throw a football at her.
What? No! Don't throw a football at my sister.
You throw a football at Odette?
Do
You
not throw
throw
a football at my sister.
you throw a javelin at Odette.
Bert, you know how our last session was 2.5 hours long?
I don't throw a football. Let's get to the infirmary.
Stop trying to throw footballs, which you wanted to be weapons at my NPCs and your other player characters.
Except
so
for the
you
NPCs
guys-
you're supposed to throw footballs at. Come on.
Who am I supposed to throw footballs to if I'm a quarterback and no one's able to catch?
On the real though, as soon as we are outside and on our way, and we're not with Odette anymore, I think that Garth would bring up the drug thing, because I do remember on my like critical insight check last time that like the people that were around might have been pretending to be high or something strange, and so I think
Well,
this
yeah.
drug thing is related, but I don't know how. But I think especially since Derek's a second year, he might have some insight into that. So I think as soon as we're no longer in the earshot of a 12-year-old, Garth will bring that up.
Can I
yeah,
like
you guys,
roll history or something to see?
Yeah, you're definitely you can roll history. So you guys exit the building, and as you exit, there's like a town car that pulls up, and Odette steps in. She's like, "Okay, off to my apartment. I'll talk with all of you tomorrow."
Is there just perchance? Is there a second room in the apartment that I could?
Yes, it's lovely. The light it
Mhm.
gets in the middle of the day is gorgeous. Unfortunately, one of my friends from school is there right now, so I cannot have any guests over. You
Oh.
understand?
Odette, please don't lie to me. I know you don't have friends.
Before she
Odette
goes,
looks at you and scowls and slams the car door.
before we like parted way, before we like left the room, I think I probably asked her, like, because like one of the questions I wanted to ask, especially like because she's a wizard. I don't think Garth really knows like what magic does, but he like kind of knows what magic does. Is like, if you have more time with it, do you think you could like use this piece to find the other half or something?
Yes, yeah, I think I could do that.
I think that'd help.
She asks for the piece back from Derek.
That I throw like a football to her.
Okay.
Oh god, she's gonna drop it and break it.
She catches it. She goes, at least one of us can be coordinated. And the window rolls up, and she drives off in her town car. Okay, do you guys head over to...
I hit her on a moving target. I hit her. Wait. Can we say that she was? Can we say she was driving like through the window? She was driving.
This is a
No,
very
they
short
wouldn't have been
dialogue,
enough
actually.
time.
like lovers on a train, like bye.
Bye. So do you guys head over to the infirmary?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I also rolled.
But as we have this conversation about the drug thing.
Yeah, and I rolled a 9 on my history check.
Yeah, I would say, Derek, you definitely, about like the cliques and that like, there are the stoner kids. And when you walked into, I mean, you failed that insight check as well. So you kind of just saw the group of stoners. I'd say that like you haven't really, we established that you didn't really interact with a whole lot of people last year. I think that maybe there was a person or two who like invited you to a thing once or twice, like a classmate or something. But for the most part, you didn't really seek out making friends last year. So you see these cliques and you just kind of see the blanket statement, like those are the stoners, those are the art kids, those are the video game nerds. Like it's just like different groups of people and not necessarily like individuals. So I would say that like, you definitely wouldn't have even been able to tell today if there were new drug dealers on campus, because it's just the same guys who you see all the time trying to sell drugs.
As much
I
as it
relay that to
displeases me-
Garth.
As much as it displeases me to do so, I can check in with my roommates when I get back tonight and try to get some names out of them.
Yo, don't forget this one thing, bro. Grass is ass.
I will
Uh,
write it down, I promise.
so as you guys get closer to the building, are you guys just jaunting up, or how are you approaching?
I think we can keep it cool. No,
I don't know
there's no
about
reason why we wouldn't
jaunting. I
be
think
in it.
Garth's probably
This-
walking like with purpose, like
This
a
is
man on a
definitely the college campus at night. The building is theoretically like not supposed to have people in it right now.
But
Oh.
I work out late, so is it possible like they may have given me like a key to like lock up myself?
to the infirmary.
Well, I'm assuming
No.
the infirmary is like in the gymnasium where injuries
That's-
usually happen.
No, that's not the way that this works necessarily. So the
Okay.
infirmary is on the. I said that there's one main building that's campus. Half of it has been redone and is newer and fancy. The other half is kind of older looking. So there is two infirmaries on campus. There's one that's in the newer half, that's like the bigger one, and then there's the old one that still exists on the far half of campus. You guys can let me know which one you think that you would have wanted to go to. Yeah.
Are they both open?
Well, you're approaching the building still, so you have to try to enter the building to see if you can get in. I don't, you know.
I feel like if
Are we all on the same page of like trying to figure out if our characters are smart enough to think about strategy right now?
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna walk in. My question is just like, if I know they're both open or not. Like, what are the hours of the infirmary? I assume they told us.
Well, they not really. I mean, there would have been a welcome package that you could have read. And this is still your first day of school, so you don't really know like the ins and out. Like this is, a school building that like each of you were here. Like one of you was in the library and one of you was in the gym kind of later, and then you went to this party. Like at this point, it's probably closer to like midnight in getting toward 1 a.m. So like this is kind of later at night.
Anyone in the infirmary now would have been there for overnight care or have snuck in to use the facilities. In that case, I'd probably guess the older one.
or it's
I
an
think you guys are-
emergency.
I think when you guys are hearing infirmary, you're hearing like a little ER. That's not what it is. It's like a nurse's office. It's like a glorified nurse's office.
Okay,
Like this is a
okay.
community college. Like
I
if
can-
you got really hurt, you'd go to the hospital. You wouldn't, there's
But,
no
like,
beds here to stay overnight or anything.
Oh,
It's a nurse's office
okay.
in the school building. There are two of them. I should have been more clear.
I feel like I feel like Garth is not confident that whoever was controlling the other side of the gem was injured, but he doesn't have any leads to act on right now. So I think he would follow Andres, even though because Andre seems like the brain to Derek's pinky. I think in Garth's estimation.
I mean, I know for a fact that they were injured while casting this spell. I just don't know if they went to the infirmary. So I guess let's just go to the new one first, and if they're not there, we'll try the old one. I mean, there's no reason to not try both
Yo,
right
the
now.
ice
It's not
bath
like
at
we're
the
pressed
new
for
one?
time.
Sick.
Cool. So you go to the building. Do you go to try to open the door?
Yeah.
It's locked.
Oh, well. Try the old building.
I
Walk all the way across.
can I try to just push it open without breaking
Okay.
the door,
Or
or am I breaking the door?
Let's not break campus.
I'm pushing it open regardless. I'm gonna try.
I don't want to break campus property and get us in more trouble than we're probably already all
you
in.
can roll me an athletics check if that's something you do.
Yep, I believe that as soon as I saw that you couldn't open it, I'm like, oh, you're just not trying hard enough, little bro.
We didn't ask about like windows or anything first or anything like that, or we just kind of.
It's a door with windows. It's like a it's a glass. It's like there's glass panels and there's metal paneling like in the middle of the glass.
So it's not a window that can open, right?
No. It's
Yeah,
a
okay.
door's
It's a
window.
panel. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely nat 20. Oh no. That's the worst nat 20 I think I could have rolled.
Yeah, with a nat 20 athletics check.
With a nat 20, a
Um,
finger on the monkey's paw suddenly curls.
Boom!
You slam the door open, and as you slam the door open, the alarm goes off. Beep, 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 beep.
I think it's time to run now.
I punched the alarm.
No!
Oh my god.
Stop!
I'm the barbarian in this party, goddammit.
And I'm the dumb one.
Okay, if
Alright,
you punch
Derek,
the alarm,
stop.
roll an attack to the
Can
alarm.
I make a quick perception check into the space while he is punching the alarm?
So this door opens up, and there's a long hallway, and in one of these rooms, and they're glass walled rooms, so you can kind of see right to your left is the infirmary. So you're not immediately in the nurse's office. You have to kind of like enter, but there are like glass walls.
All right, Garth does have 40 feet of speed, and he feels like just kind of popping in and looking in real quick.
And I'm punching the alarm.
Okay. Punch the alarm.
That is a 10 to hit the alarm.
So you hit the alarm. For a moment, it's like beep, 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 and then it's silent. And then it comes back, beep, 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 and it's like even louder. And a little light is flashing now.
I just repeatedly punch it until something different happens.
Derek, stop punching the alarm. We need to leave.
Can we resolve my perception before all that happens?
So with your perception check, what did you get for your perception check?
Natural 3. So 7.
Yeah, you're a little too distracted because Derek is just beating in the wall like a boyfriend who's mad at his girlfriend for wearing an outfit he doesn't like. Like, he is just punching the alarm, and every time he hits the alarm, it gets louder and a different effect starts taking place.
Okay,
so it gets a little bit more high-pitched, and it seems as if there's, like, the lights flash louder and louder, and then he starts hitting it, and, like, dye packs start exploding all over his head.
Garth, you seem
Garth,
reasonable.
on his way back, like rushing out, Garth is going to full on like grab him and tackle him out of the room, out of the door, and like into the field.
I just literally try to get one more punch and let you take me.
Yeah, you get one more smack in, and you get just like body checked by Garth, who is just sedating you.
Can I make a check to see if security's coming?
Yeah, you're welcome to make me a perception check if you'd
I
like.
rolled a 7. Oh, an 8.
You rolled a 7. Yeah, you know what? You think that right now you guys are actually in the perfect position you want to be in. Like, it's fine. You're gonna get out of here and be totally fine.
So I don't want to go back to my room? Because
you do, but you know that, like, you don't have to rush, like, you're doing okay.
Scatter, you morons!
Garth starts running.
Alright, I'm running back to my room.
I pick up my 5 bags and follow.
I am not running with the two of them.
Where the fuck? Do you want me to just leave my bags at your place? Those grass-ass smokers are there.
Hang on. As everybody is running away, Jake, you already rolled a perception check, but the other two are welcome to roll perception checks for me.
Oh, okay.
15.
Nat 1.
Derek, with your perception check, you're just kind of like, we're running now? Okay, let's run. And you just book it off in, like, another direction and basically just go to run home. This was a really great first day, and you're very proud of all the things you've done. I'm
running home to Granny?
Yeah, you run home.
Okay.
Dan, what'd you get?
A 15.
A 15, yeah. So Andre also probably runs off. Andre, you run off?
My plan was to run back to my room.
Yeah, you run back to your room. Garth, you take a moment to maybe run, like, not necessarily as you see Andre, because you're both theoretically going back to the same place, but as he runs toward the room, you're run a little bit more straight out. And, like,
oh, yeah, if we have a tail, I'm not trying to, of course.
Out from this door is basically you kind of run up a slope and then you, like, cross a pathway and then you get kind of near the woods. And as you kind of run towards the woods, you, with your 15 perception, and you're a little in the zone as you're running this way, you didn't see exactly, and you hear for a moment, you think that, like, either Andre or Derek is actually kind of running, like, parallel to you right now, which is, like, not what you said to do. And as you kind of glance toward where you're hearing the noise come from, you see not a person, but a shadow kind of for a moment in a light and then disappear. And then you don't see anything. And the shadow was not Andre's or Derek's.
Creepy.
And I assume, you make a lap and you eventually run back to the dorm.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you guys go home for the night, various homes, and go to sleep, get your rest, process through, what the day was like. We're actually going to time jump kind of toward the later in the week, as as this is kind of a regular week, but I want to give you guys a chance. Do either of you guys, did any of you guys do anything over this week? Do you go? Do you ask anybody any questions? Do you investigate anything? Give me like maybe one thing besides schoolwork that you're doing over the course of this week. And Derek, I'm sorry. As you, actually no, keep going.
I was gonna say I probably when I can, I try to nonchalantly walk by the infirmary, and I hopefully see someone like repairing the door, and I graciously offer to help. Be like, oh, that's such a shame. Would you? I'm a pretty big guy. I could like hold the door up while you screw it back in.
So you go to, you like kind of pass by the hallway where this is all going down, maybe the day after, kind of hoping to like slide in and give a hand. And as you kind of like pass by, and this door is like at the end of this hallway, you glance at it and it looks fine. It looks like nothing happened.
Can I walk in the infirmary and look at the alarm that I was punching?
So it's not, you weren't in the infirmary yet. This was like by the wall, by the door. That there was like, it was like a door, and then
can
right
I go
here
in
was,
like looking for Tylenol?
So you can walk down toward the end of this hallway, and as you walk toward the end of this hallway, you're welcome to make me an investigation check if you'd like.
Investigation?
Yeah.
Not perception.
I guess you are also welcome to do a perception check if that's what you feel like you'd be.
Yeah. It's the difference between +0 and +2.
Okay, it's also a difference in the information I'm going to give you. What'd you get? Was it a nat 1?
It was a nat 1.
Yeah, you walk down here and you're like, man, they fixed this really fast. This was... or, even, like, there's that thought, and then it's followed by the thought of, like, did that even happen? Because this looks totally fine, so it probably was a weird dream you had.
I check my knuckles to see if there's any scarring.
Yeah, your knuckles are fucked up.
Man, I gotta start taping better before I work out.
Yeah, and you kind of, head down the hall, and you continue kind of on with the rest of your week. Garth, Andre, what's something that you try to accomplish this week? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Derek, give me just like a flat intelligence roll to see how your schooling was this week.
14.
14. Yeah, you know what? You're doing okay. Last semester you cared a lot less. This semester, it's interesting because you're taking majority religion classes, and that's definitely different than what you did last year. And I think that you really anticipated to really hate it. And your 14 is, I think, representative of that feeling of, this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Garth, Andre, what are you up to?
I am gonna make good on my promise and follow up with my roommates to see if they can give me any names of people that I can talk to about the school drug trade.
Sure. Yeah. You kind of, it's this maybe toward the middle of the week, and, it's just been your roommates hanging out in the room all week long, kind of the same thing that they're always doing in the living room. What do you say as you kind of walk up to them to engage in this conversation?
I'm gonna sit down.
Oh, do you want a hitman? Look, and then you see that they added like a weird like hamster, those hamster labyrinth? They've like added that to this weird bong they've been smoking out of. There's no hamster in there.
I thought you were just gonna say
like
hamster.
There's a hamster swimming in the bong water.
I wouldn't want to take away from yours. I am interested, however, in learning about what other types of substances there are that I could potentially partake in. Who would I talk to about learning more about this on campus?
Oh, okay. Well, so we mostly do the smokable stuff. If you're looking for something a little faster than the fast market, you want to talk to Ducky. Ducky has all of your fast market needs. If you are interested in something that'll take you there, man, like just send you, dude, that's Layla, dude. She has like her and all of her friends. They got that stuff. And then if you're just straight up interested in Molly, you can talk to Molly. she has Molly.
That's very convenient.
Yeah, she kind of thought it was her destiny, so she just went with it.
Yeah,
The stuff from Layla really gets you on your knees.
Huh?
There's the song Layla.
Oh, okay. Is there are there any so I don't know if we don't talk much, so I guess you don't know this. I have a bit of a background in business, let's say. Do you
Let's say that you have a background in business.
You guys are so with it. It's oh wow. There's this. Is there anybody new on campus that maybe is competing with you?
Oh, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't think. Why don't you roll me a precision check?
11.
11. Hang on. Okay. I was ready to penalize you, and they rolled real low. Yeah, they kind of seem a little cagey for a second. And mind you, this has been a couple days since the last time that Garth had this conversation with them. And they're like, yeah, I mean, there's some new people. This guy's name is Michael. He yeah, he's just like, he's just kind of he's talked to us a little bit, and he has some pretty decent stuff that he's working in, and just I don't really know like where he is or like where he comes from, but he just like him or one of the girls that hangs out with him will just kind of show up and give us a little bit more of it, and just kind of to have us try to sell that stuff, and they don't even make us buy it from them, dude. So it's like it's kind of a win-win deal. They're like it's just they're cool people. It's fine.
Do you have any of it on you? And also, what are the girls' names, if you know?
No, actually, we don't know their names. They kind of one of them's like, oh, we don't have any of us on us right now, man, but we can get some to you. It's actually kind of selling out, dude. So if you want, next time we get some, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, next time you have some, that would be great. And just just as a tip, when you're carving out your market, you got to make sure if anyone tries to get into that space, you got to get them out of your market really quickly, because otherwise, you don't want that kind of competition on your hand.
I mean, yeah, it's exactly. There's no we don't compete with each other, man.
I mean, we're
not in Duel Club. We're not in Duel Club though. Like that's not.
No, you are not.
Yeah. Are you joining Duel Club?
If I tell you that, will that end this conversation?
They start talking to you about Duel Club, and they're like, those guys are pricks, man. They think they're the coolest kids on campus, and they're just not, dude. And it kind of fades off from there. You continue on with the rest of your week.
I assume it takes a very short time for them to just start talking with each other, and I'm just gonna flip
exactly. Exactly. Garth, what are you up to?
I assume that we kind of left. I assume we kind of left things with a don't call us, we'll call you, or she left that.
Yeah.
Whatever they write. You know what I mean?
If any of you tried to text her, you get a who dis.
I don't have her number. I don't think he would. I figured okay.
If Andre texted her, try to nag her, she texts who dis.
I imagine it's not something that's like new.
No.
There are a couple things that I'm interested in doing, and that I think Garth would be interested in, and it would be following up in his own way on this lead with these weird, new drug people. I think maybe he'd like. I think he knows that Mikey is a little bit more into partying than he is, so that maybe he might be a good person to ask, or might know who to ask. The other thing I'm kind of interested in for Garth is if it's possible, office hours with the professor who. Gave him that impossible bag puzzle.
Okay, cool. Yeah, which one do you think?
I guess.
Oh my god, the impossible bag puzzle.
Why don't we do the office hours? I think that we've, Andre tried to kind of figure out some stuff with the drugs. So what do you think about the office hours?
Yeah, do we have a name for this guy?
Yeah. So this guy is hang on, I gotta find my notes.
I don't know. I should have taken better notes. I think it's the tactics and resource management
Yeah, I don't think I had said his name last time. His name is just he just goes by Toby.
He goes by Toby.
He goes by Toby. That's his kind of deal.
Right. Garth,
and
I think Garth has a. We'll kind of habitually call him Sir anyway.
Yeah. So what do you say as you kind of approach his office? He's like sitting in there doing some work.
Yeah, I think it's if he, I guess first if he has a moment to debrief, I guess, about that earlier exercise.
Yeah, he, as you kind of come in, he looks up and he's like, "Hey, oh, you're in my class. What's your name again?"
Garth.
Garth. Yeah, Garth. Garth, what was your last name?
Grimknuckle.
Okay. Of the Blood Skull Grim Knuckle Knife Wound and Swartz Company. Okay, yeah, we've had a lot of your counterparts show up here in the last couple of years. I guess all the kids are growing up. I remember when your parents were, I guess I'm about their age as well. I remember when your parents were coming up. Actually, your parents know me. Yeah. Just ask them about Toby. It's a story for them to tell.
I'm sorry, sir. I wish I'd made a better first impression.
No, hey, it's just because you solved the puzzle in a unique and happened to be wrong way doesn't mean you made a bad impression. Kid, what are they teaching you in that firm? I mean, you really packed light. Is there a shortage of money or?
No. Honestly, the right way to pack the bag is how they taught us at the start, but we had a bad trip one time where the equipment weighed us down and not everybody made it back. Since then, I tend to pack light.
All right, I can respect that. I get it. I used to work out in the field. Because it wasn't necessarily for me, so I work here now. But I get it. I mean, it's hard. It's harder out there in the field. What made you decide to come and officially get your license? I mean, it's most of what we do here at the school. It's we're getting so many people to come in. I mean, how you're a little past when it's you and your group of friends. It's all a little older than typically our students are.
Yeah, well, I got as high up as I could in the ranks in the firm without the license, but my family and I decided that this would be the best move for me.
Your family made that decision?
It was mutual.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Yeah, I know your parents. I get it. I get how mutual that decision could have been.
I'm gonna learn something here.
Is there something that's particularly been interesting you, or have you started interested in any extracurricular classes? Have you used any of the facilities on campus?
No, I'm still trying to find where I feel comfortable. And I think that Garth has also been since he couldn't find a workout spot in the woods, is still trying to figure out where he likes to go, but nothing feels right yet. I think it's the first few days he's still working it out, but yeah, that's how he feels.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of pause and say, you should go to the dual club tryouts. They're happening tomorrow. I think that you might find a little bit of what you're looking for there.
Yeah, maybe.
Just
he's picturing more at dual club tryouts right now.
He just kind of shrugs and he's like, "Hey, look, I recommend it to some of my students who seem a little bit more interested in a different aspect of being a mercenary than just the tactical stuff. There's only so much I can teach. There's the leader of the dual club actually is he's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. You should check it out."
Thanks.
Cool. Yeah. So the week kind of comes to an end. You guys have all kind of gone to your various classes over the course of the week. Jake, you have a class with that old professor that you had met the week before who called you, I don't know, something like cold and heartless. He disregards you entirely the whole class and doesn't even...
Wait, the one that called him Sweetie?
Wait, did someone call me Sweetie?
I don't really remember that. They take over my brain, Dan, and they say what they want to say. It's, yeah. So as the week kind of comes to a close, what do you guys think that you're doing kind of toward the end of the week? Odette has probably sent a text at some point saying like, have more information about this, meet me in the evening, meet me in the evening on Friday. As the school day is coming to a close. This is the day that there's been posters and announcements all week long about the tryouts for Duel Club, which is just, it seems like there's it's a club that for Duel, and they go to other schools and they duel with other schools. And this is a lot of talk about how this is one of the best teams on campus. What are you guys up to?
I
think that Garth has been looking for hippy dippy people, but also for him, I think the focus on the grass, as much as he thinks that Derek is full of himself with a rhyme, he does feel like there's something about the grass. So if there are people if of course if there's anybody ripping up grass the same way, he's on it. But also people walking on the grass, he's just looking at them funny, or maybe people mowing the grass, he's I don't know. He's looking around for more of those suspicious characters.
At some point, I need to definitely get together with these two and talk and let them know the name Michael. That's the person that was selling the drugs that was suspicious, that may or may not be related to all of this. It's at the very least. Do you
think that you guys wait to meet up in the end of the week, or do you think that you've tried to have you exchanged numbers? Are you in contact with each other at all?
Oh, I have lunch with Small Fry every night at this point.
With is a strong word. I'm having lunch and he happens to be there.
I sit
He
next
is
to
also
him
having
every
lunch.
time.
Yeah.
I always make sure he gets that extra good piece of chicken.
I feel like I must have passed Garth at some point in the dorms. The fact that we live in the same building, we probably pass each other at least once, and I would relay that information to him. I probably wouldn't give him my number though.
Keep it professional.
Cool.
Keep it professional.
So you guys have kind of relayed information to each other over the course of the week. It seems like there's going to be a lot of students going to this dual tryouts. There's been a lot of buzz about it. You guys are welcome to roll an insight check if you'd like. Also, Garth, do you tell them about the shadow that you saw running towards the woods when you guys were all dispersing? No, you didn't tell them
Unrelated.
about that?
I rolled a 16 insight.
Keep your secrets. I rolled an 8.
I rolled a 15. I think this is my third or fourth 15 of the night.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's
Sorry,
but
what
this time
did you
it
get?
wasn't a natural 11,
16.
it was a natural 13.
You got a 16. 15 and 16. Yeah, Andre, with an 8, you're probably a little uninterested in anything the majority of this campus is interested in, because all of this is below you. The other two, you probably have the thought that occurs to you. It seems like a lot of this campus is going to be going to this tryouts, and almost as if if you're not going to the tryouts, it seems it's that's kind of the weirder thing to do. And so there's a good chance that if you at least show up to this thing, you could maybe suss out the crowd, see if there's anybody you recognize from the party, see if there's anybody who seems injured at all from, if they possibly had to deal with the other half of the crystal or whatever it is. So it does occur to you that there is going to be a lot of the student body at this event.
When it comes to the dueling club, just so I have an idea of what the sport is it similar to fencing? Or is this legitimate?
It's kind of, it's like sparring almost. I think it's kind of two people fight each other in whatever way they're most comfortable with. And they practice fighting with each other, but also this is a sport that they go to other schools and fight other kids on other teams. It is essentially non-lethal damage, but it's fighting.
But also the loser gets sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, all the losers have to spend the rest of the tournament sitting in the Shadow Realm until they're brought back for trophies at the end.
If that's the type of sport it is, I think Derek would be inclined to try out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because there weren't tryouts in the middle of the semester last year when you joined the school, so they only do tryouts in the fall. So this is the first opportunity you had. What about Garth? I guess Andre.
Yeah, Garth is trepidatious, but he'll go.
I'm trying to fit in a little bit better at this school. Plus, what's the point of being cool if no one can see you being cool? So I'm gonna go and show my disinterest.
And then I remind you that you could cheer for me as I whoop some fucking ass.
Bert, do you want to do this off camera or on camera, rolling for your food in your bag for the day as we jump in?
We can do that right now.
Okay.
It's a nat 20 and you tell me how good it goes? Is that how it works?
We'll see. It's not always going to be a nat 20.
No, sorry, I meant I'd roll a d20.
Yes, a d20, and I tell you what's
I
up.
did not mean to say nat 20.
I was like, huh? What'd you get? A nat 1?
That's my third nat 1!
Okay, so what you have in your bag is loose Cheerios. It is just a bag of loose Cheerios. And if somebody eats a handful of loose Cheerios, they can roll 1d2, which means that you can flip a coin, and heads, you get 1 point of healing, tails, you get 2 points of healing. Okay.
You have my cure wounds and my lay on hands.
And my loose Cheerios!
Okay, so everybody, we all show up to the dual tryouts.
Tryouts. That's the
tryouts. Yeah, I've been saying it, but it's
I didn't want to interrupt you in character. I was like, tryouts. It's tryouts.
I started saying it. You guys show up to dual tryouts. As you guys show up, you do see that it's like a huge room full of kids. There are like the gym here. It's pretty large, or like the basketball court that you're kind of on. Like it's like a really large space. And there's a lot of kids kind of lined up in different groups that they're like trying to pair off. You have to like go in and sign up. There's like, monitors around like, all right, you go to the table. Everybody get yourself to a table. You sign in. You write down what your specialty is, and then we'll pair you up with somebody who seems best fit to fight. All right, everybody go to your tables. And they kind of like, alphabetical order, go to, and they're like pushing everybody around, that kind of thing. What do you guys do?
I go sign up.
You go sign up. Okay, cool. Do the other two do that as well?
I'll make a quick perception check first.
Okay, cool.
That's an 11. Is more there?
I'm going to give it to you. More is definitely there. More, Mikey, and Lash actually are all here, and they see you, and they're like, Garth! And like you've walked in with your new friends, as we'll say that you guys did like a true debrief of the three of you before you walked into this space. And I'm saying friends loosely. You guys barely know each other. The new acquaintances in your life who are also caught up in the same drama you are. But your friends kind of like, Garth, come here, and they wave you down. And as you get there, like, Mikey claps your back, and Lash kind of jumps into your arms and like gives you a big hug. And they're like, it feels like I haven't seen you in a whole week. What have you been doing? And Mikey's like, he's just holed up in his room reading books and stuff. I don't know. And they're kind of, laughing about it. And they're like, are you signing up? Put your name on. Come on, we got this.
Yeah,
hopefully,
I'll sign up.
Cool. And you go to sign up. The other two signing up as well?
100%.
Yeah.
Any reason to show off that I'm clearly the best athlete here, and the fact that I'm not on a team is out of my own choice.
Wait, is the cute librarian here?
Yeah. Do you want to roll a perception check?
18.
18. Yeah, as you're kind of like near your table and like you're signing up, like I guess I said alphabetically, but they're actually, the tables are signed up by like specialty, like what your thing is, and you go over to the table that's like,
but
this
each
one
class
specifically
is alphabetical, so that
Yes, exactly. It's
Yeah.
alphabetical classes, exactly. So you go all the way to the end of the line where Wizard is, back to the back.
Wizard duels.
No, I'm not gonna say that the alphabetical thing is canon. So it's too much for me to.
But it is
walk
in
up
my
to-
heart.
You walk up to your table, and then walking up to the table next to yours is this girl who kind of like looks over at you and like waves at you. Library.
Yeah, library. Hold on, I want to know what class she is first. I'm sorry, I really want to know.
Damn it, Jake! Stop metagaming.
Because if I'm wizard, wouldn't she be warlocks?
No, that's why it's
I mean,
not
yeah.
alphabetical. Come on, get with it.
That's why it's not alphabetical.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. It's not actually alphabetical.
Okay. Yeah, library. I've been there before.
Yeah, also the hallway where I haven't seen you in the hallway this week. I mean, in your town. The bathroom. You know what? I'm gonna go sign up for this. And she turns around on her heel and like walks into the crowd of her table.
Probably like the best conversation I've had here.
Nice. Go me.
I run up after signing up and be like, "Yo, bro, I signed up. You fucking pumped it.
All the wizards at the line are like, ah! And you kind of, Bert, Derek, you kind of bump into that wizard who was like, the guy that you were talking with kind of earlier, the one who seemed, very full of himself. I don't know if I gave him a name last week, but I did this week anyway. His name is Evan, and you kind of bump into him, and he's like, excuse me, you're very garish, aren't you?
Lick my nards."
I will not, sir. It's you and your bravado and your big heads. You think that you come to these events that you will sweep everybody off their feet or whatever, and I'm here to tell you my wizarding skills are definitely stronger than anything you can throw at me with your fists.
I pick him up by his head.
Okay, roll an athletics check.
I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm just picking him up by his head.
I don't want you to get disqualified.
That's a athletics.
Yeah.
That's an adjusted 25.
God, yeah, you pick up this guy by his head, and he's like, "Oh, hang on me, put me down."
Little man starts to squirm when he doesn't have his feet on the floor.
This is unheard of. Please, put me down. I will scream. You will get disqualified.
I pull him up to my face, so we're eye to eye now. So I'm assuming he's pretty short compared to me being 7'4".
I guess everybody's kind of short compared to
Right.
me, but he's an elf. He is an elf, so he's actually not as short as everybody else.
Sure, he's still short. So I pick him up and put him eye to eye to me, and I just go, "Don't talk about my magic, bro. My magic whoops your magic's butt. Your magic sucks nards." And then I just put him down and just pat his head. And I point at Andre and go, "Good luck, little dude!" And I just bounce out.
But what class is she, though?
Oh yeah, hold on. You don't get away from that. You don't get a pass on that.
No, I do. Okay, so what is as Andre is kind of in line, you feel kind of a bump kind of toward you, and you look, and it's your sister Odette, and she kind of smirks, and she's like, bet that I could beat you in a duel any day.
I bet that you should get lost, you little nerd.
Oh no, I'm gonna participate. That's the whole thing, right?
Well, so am I, and I'm gonna win. So
yeah, you wanna put a bet on that?
What do you have that I want? Besides ego, I'm good. Thank you.
The love of our parents.
Oh my god!
Turns on her heel and goes to the locker room to get ready. And so you guys all sign up to participate in these duels. And they kind of all start like pairing you guys off with people. And you notice really quick that they're not necessarily pairing you right away with other people from your classes. They're actually pairing you off with other people of other classes. They're kind of mixing it up, but not all of them, but they are mixing some of them up. So you kind of, everybody, you all get in, like, it's basic gym clothes. They hand you, like, versions of your weapons that have been dulled so that, like, any pain and wounds inflicted lifted is not going to do full amounts of damage. They like make all of the spellcasters wear these kind of cuffs that seem like really like intricate and fancy, and it just says like it's a buff cuff, and wearing these will buff your magic so it doesn't actually hurt the other person.
So I have a question. Did they take my footballs away and replace them with Nerf footballs?
Yeah, exactly. You all are wearing Nerf versions of your own weapons.
Because everybody knows that piercing and slashing damage are much worse than bludgeoning damage.
Dan, if you want to talk about this on stream, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about this. Anyway, so you guys all go to your, various places that they told you all to like stand and line up, and you guys are all. It's actually you start not facing the other player, and you're basically supposed to like turn around. So it's so you can't like study like what other class this person could be, and you're supposed to like turn around and jump in immediately, essentially.
I'm sorry, because the way you've described, I know duel by definition is a one-on-one fight, but the way you've described this, I feel like we were about to start a game of dodgeball because we're lined up.
Yeah, right.
It looks like that. Like you guys are like lined up next to each other, but you're not necessarily going to be fighting each other's. You're supposed to just be fighting the person that you're engaged with.
Okay. So it's a bunch of small one-on-one dodgeball games.
Well, with you playing with the footballs, it's definitely going to be something like that.
Everybody, roll initiative.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh, we writing it down somewhere or just telling you?
No, I think we're just saying them.
22.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need. I'm doing something a little bit differently around the people you're fighting's initiative. So, who? So what? Jake, what'd you get?
22.
Any of you get higher than that? No. Okay. Hang on. Let me roll what you're. Okay. Cool. So that is. Cool. Who thinks they got the next highest?
Garth. Garth.
17.
Okay, cool.
Totally.
Cool. And that is Derek.
3.
Okay, cool.
Adjusted.
Unfortunate. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Just so you know, it wasn't a nat 1. I only add a +1 to initiative.
If it was a nat 1, that'd be a different story. You'd have to say nat 1. Nat 1's your
Right,
nat 1's
no,
nat
I
20s.
know. I just wanted to make sure people know. I'm not trying to make it sound better by saying adjusted 3. It wasn't a nat 1.
So, first in this, in this combat experience that for you group right now is going to be Andre. Andre, you whip around at the same time as your partner, and you're looking right into the eyes of your little sister Odette, who is like there and ready. What do you do?
I cast. So I hold up my ring, and a like purplish energy begins to form inside of it and shoots right at her forehead, and I cast Mind Sliver. She has to make...
Okay.
Oh, why did I cast that against? Oh, jeez.
What does she have to make?
An intelligence saving throw of 13.
No.
I didn't read the saving throw.
Yeah, she passes with flying colors. She looks at you and raises her eyebrow, and she's like, "Mind Sliver? Older brother, please." Cool. That's going to be her turn. She is going to look at you and raise her eyebrow, and then she's going to cast out acid arrow at you as she kind of like conjures up this arrow and like shoots it out at you. You have to. Oh, I have to make a targeted spell attack. No, it says that's what it says.
Oh no, I'm not saying you don't have to. I'm saying, oh no, like I'm scared.
I was like,
mean,
what? No.
Please, come on, Tess, you don't have to.
No, please. Does a 17 hit?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my god, are we about to get butchered?
I hope not.
You only take 8 points of damage. This round, as this arrow kind of shoots out at you, and like your magic kind of has this orange-ish tint almost. Hers is a different kind of. It looks a little bit more calculated. It looks a little bit more like the way that it's supposed to look. Cool. That is going to. That's going to be Garth's turn. Move over to the next fight. Garth, you whip around in your fight, and you are looking into Moore's eyes.
Classic.
Cracks his knuckles, and is like, "Oh, this is time for a rematch." Implying that this is, maybe
another. How many rematches have we had over the course of our lives together? I suppose is the question. Then too many.
He keeps score on who wins the fights, and you don't.
Thank goodness.
What are you doing?
I am going to. Garth will just take a deep breath and focus himself, and you can, anyone watching can see all of his muscles tense up. And then that's a bonus action to rage, and he is going to rush his movement and take a swing, I guess. Fuck.
Cool. Take a swing at Moore.
Yeah, I'll take a swing. I'll take a swing at Moore.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out who's.
It's a natural 4.
It's a natural 4. Yeah, you take a swing out at Moore, and he kind of like ducks, and he kind of chuckles, and is like, "Oh, I can see you coming. I'm in your head." And he is going to kind of like twist. He has like a foam great axe, and he like swings down at you. Unless you have something else on your turn, or is that it?
That was a movement action bonus, baby. I'm done.
Yeah, he is going to bonus action rage, and then he is going to crack his neck muscles in his back, and he's going to swing down at you, and he is going to get a dirty 20 to hit.
Oh, that'll hit.
Oh, that'll do.
That'll do.
Yeah, you take 16 points of damage.
Halved to 8.
Yes, it's going to be halved because this is non-lethal. It's also halved again. Oh, so then it's halved again to 4.
Okay.
Because this is the way that I'm doing this is that it's actually all of this fighting is taking it out of you guys a little bit. So if you get hit, you're gonna actually take half as much as the damage would really have done.
Okay.
Are you having the damage for us, or do we have to do it?
I'll probably say the full damage amount, and then we'll half it in that moment together.
Okay.
Cool. That is going to be, moves over again toward fucking. Oh God, I wrote the wrong name here. That's why I'm tripping over my words.
I want you to know, the entire time they've been fighting, I'm sitting here going through my notes, trying to figure out who is my rival in this situation.
So you're standing here and you whip around, and as you turn around, you're looking into the eyes of that elf nerd that you just picked up by the head, Evan, and he is going to smirk and go, what a serendipitous moment for the two of us. Almost as if somebody, paid to be able to fight you.
You paid to get your ass beat?
Nice.
Oh, okay. And then he's going to go first, and he is going to flick his wrist, and out it roils this ball that extends from his hand, and he's going to cast Fireball. That is going to be you have to make a dexterity saving throw.
What level Fireball? Just out of curiosity.
Doing a level Fireball.
With a +1 to Dex, that's a 16.
That's a 16, yeah. So you're going to pass, but you'll still take half of it.
So that's technically a fourth of it, right?
Yeah. Well, hang on. Let me do it first.
Okay. Because the fireball is that's a spell right there.
It's just 8d6.
That could be a lot. As someone who casts fireball in another game.
There's so much tension.
There's so much tension.
Math.
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 You should come up with a math graphic.
Oh, I actually have one.
Okay.
I'll do it.
So you would have taken 30 points of damage, half to 15, which is going to be halved again because this is the non-lethal damage to 7 points of damage.
Oh my god, that could have been so bad. So,
But it's still, and he kind of smirks out at you and kind of gives you a what do you got face, and that's gonna be your turn.
okay, I am going to channel divinity as a bonus action with my Vow of Enmity to give myself advantage on all melee attacks against him.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take my Nerf Morning Star and bop him in the head.
Okay.
I'll a whack-a-mole. Oh, so close. But a 25 to hit.
25 is gonna hit, yeah.
And I'll divine smite him. Why not?
Okay.
So that's I gotta find. There it is. That's 12 damage halved to 6. Unless, does the divine smite get halved?
It would all get halved. Whatever the max of the damage is, it gets halved.
Then yeah, it gets halved to 6.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're a magic caster as well, so they gave you a nerf thing and also a buff cuff, so that your magic is buffed.
Gotcha.
Cool. That is going to be back up to Andre.
So I'm angry.
Yes. Also, I think that. Hang on. Sorry. Keep talking.
I'm angry, so I'm gonna hold out my ring, and a big orange. Is it a wall or is it a? I think it's just a line, like a big ball of fire starts to form, and from 30 feet out, I shoot a line of fire and cast Agonzar's Scorcher.
Okay.
And she has to make a dex save.
Okay. Yeah, and this is like a specific, this is like a weird spell that you would have like pulled out of a book, like this is something that you, this is, looks uncommon as you cast it out. She got a 16.
So, she succeeded, but I'm gonna use, what the heck's it called? Chronal shift. So as she succeeds, she gets like a moment of deja vu and she has to roll again.
Okay.
Come on.
She fails.
Let's go.
Okay. So she fails and takes 3d8. 3d8 damage.
That's good damage.
What's wrong, sister? A little deja vu. That's 19 points of damage.
Nice.
She's gonna be halved to 9. Yeah, she feels like you do that, and she feels herself missing it, and then she feels herself being pulled back into herself, and then actually like getting hit by it, and she looks up at you after you hit her, and she's like, "You piece of shit, you cheating piece of shit!" Screams at you. That
There's a
is
little bit of like
be...
orange dust around her head after.
At the end of your turn, you take an extra 6 points of poison damage from the arrow that she flung out at you.
Oh my god.
And in her anger, she is going to cast Fireball.
Ooh.
Yeah, does a 18 hit?
Yeah, and I can't.
Fireball is
Fireball's a dex save.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, make a dex. No. Yeah, make a dex save. Make a dex save. My bad.
That's good because I don't have another reaction.
well, I mean, you'll still have to make
19.
the save.
19 passes, but you're still going to take half of this damage.
Or a quarter of the damage.
So
I think I have a chance at surviving now. If it was full, I didn't stand a chance.
How much HP do you have left? Just out of curiosity.
Right now, 17.
No, you should be fine. A quarter of a damage, even if she rolled perfect.
So that would have been 22 points of damage. halved would have been 11, and then that halved is 5. That is going to be Garth's turn.
Okay. No more fucking around. Gonna hit this guy. Come on.
I'm gonna hit this guy.
Yeah. Another long sword attack. Natural 7. That's only an 11 to hit.
11 is not going to hit.
Cool. And I will use my bonus action to fuck it. I'm gonna flurry.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Fuck it.
channel my ki. You see that Garth, like, he swings down. Like, I feel like maybe the sword like chomps into the foam and just like sticks there, and then he's like, fuck it, and he goes like whap, and then kick, and then like hopefully fucking hits.
Kick him good.
Okay. That is going to be a 13 to hit on one of them and a 19 to hit on the other.
That is the 13 and the 19 both hit.
Excellent. Okay, so I got cool. Sorry, I got so many different damage die for all my different attacks.
I'm not there yet.
So that is going to be 13 points of damage, I guess, quartered if he's raging. Although I don't know if my fists were also blunted. If not, that's just pop.
No, you're wearing like Nerf gauntlets, so that it's like you're wearing like Hulk fists, so that it's
Cool.
At least one of them's a Hulk fist if you're
So
also
that's
holding
what,
a weapon. So
3
it's
points of damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Cool. That is going to be hang on. That is going to be this guy's turn, this elf's turn. He is going to look over at you, Derek, and be like, "It's almost not even worth using my higher spells on you." And he's going to cast out a magic missile.
Fucking Evan.
Hang on, I'm just going to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Because
Evan, I want you to know, you're a Nard licker, and Nard lickers, they lick Nards. And I think...
Got him, bro.
Pretty sure Derek thinks that's a really good comeback.
You're going to take, it would have been 12 points of damage, but then it's halved to 6 points of damage from these magic missiles.
Oh, God. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use my reaction to Stone's Endurance it.
Okay.
So I can negate some of that damage. My con. I take 1 damage now.
Okay, cool. That's going to be your turn.
Sick. I'm gonna attack with advantage.
Okay.
Oh, I have to keep concentration though, don't I?
Oh yeah. So if you got hit, roll concentration.
I pass.
Okay, cool.
Natural 13 on the die.
Okay.
Alright, come on. You're shitting me. With advantage, a nat 1 and a nat 3.
Hey, he's a wizard though. His AC can't be that great.
So does a...
It's not that low.
Does a 9 hit?
No.
You're a Nard.
That's it.
You're a Nard licker.
He looks at you.
You don't even deserve.
He looks at you and goes, I may have licked a nard or two in my life, but I'll tell you this, I would never lick your nards.
Everyone heard him! Everyone heard him! He said he licks nards! He licks nards!
Half this room is like, yeah, man, I mean, that's, have you ever had sex? Somebody just has to be like, this dude's never had sex. That is going to be back up to Andre's turn.
All right.
What? North?
I've had sex.
I'm gonna. So like this black inky tendril is gonna come out from my ring and attempt to wrap itself around Odette. I'm gonna cast insinuation on her. She has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, you just fucking trying to murder your sister. She fails.
Oh, cool. I don't have to waste one of my things. Okay, so she takes 1d12 damage, and she's incapacitated.
Oh my god.
She takes 10 psychic damage.
Okay.
I want to make sure I get all this right. Saving throw. At the end of each of its turns, it takes. Oh, so I guess at the end of her turn.
Okay.
It'd be half to 5, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Half to 5. Okay, cool.
So her turn's next, right?
Yes.
So it succeeds on my turn. On her turn, she's incapacitated. She can't do anything. She takes the 10 half to 5 psychic damage.
Can she roll to get out of it?
Wait, does it take the 10 right away? Or does it take the d12 at the end of each?
What's the text of the spell?
At the end of each of its turns, it takes 1d12. So I guess it doesn't take it right away.
And at the end of her turn.
Okay, so yeah, she rolls another wisdom saving throw, I guess?
Yeah. But she's gonna get the damage from this first turn.
Yeah, and
she will take this damage, but so at the end of her turn, because she can't do anything, she's incapacitated. She's incapacitated, but looking at you with the most chilling look in her eye, like she is furious. And at the end of her turn, she gets a 19 wisdom saving throw and snaps out of it, and looks and is like, "I might murder you for real."
I'm gonna do another chrono shift, and make her reroll it again.
Oh my god, these are so clutch.
Piece of shit. These are the pettiest chrono shift. Yeah, she beats that. She gets a 20 something on that.
No.
Oh, she rolled better.
She looks at you as you try to do it again, and as you try to do it again, she actually looks like she grabs a hold almost of your magic with hers, and she pulls it back into this moment and goes, "No, no." And that is going to be Garth's turn.
So scary to hear that voice come out of a 12-year-old.
That was kind of an all-in attack. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not looking forward to what happens next round.
All right, we're gonna swing again. Fuck it. Long sword, natural 1.
Yep, nope, that doesn't hit. He's just dancing around. He's like, "You're doing all these weird new things. You haven't been training at the gym nearly enough. Look at you with your lean body." He says lean, cut to you. You're still really very cut.
That's a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Yeah, I just punched him again for 6 more damage. Half to nothing. He's raging.
Oh yeah, and then 3 half to 1, so he takes 1 point of damage from you, and he's like, "Oh, you punch me! Why do you keep punching me? Use your weapon, man!" And that is going to be this wizard's turn.
Wait, he's got to hit me, doesn't he?
He have to hit?
Oh, you're right. Yep.
Which also,
yes, he does.
I could seriously O-teacher her. I don't think
he is going to. I don't think he hit last time either.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think he hit last time either.
Didn't he?
Whatever.
No, she went straight to Evan's turn.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna actually swing out recklessly, so he's gonna get advantage anyway. Yep, he is going to get a 24 to hit.
Yeah, hit me. Go ahead. I would love advantage on him next round.
Wings down at you. Oh, and gets again. He gets 16 points of damage, half to 8. Quarter again on you, half again to 4. Cool. And he is gonna look. He's too busy gloating that he was winning last turn to attack. My bad. And so we're gonna move on to Evan's turn again. Evan is going to look out at you, and he is going to He is going to cast out at you hideous laughter. He is going to make you make a wisdom saving throw.
I have proficiency in those.
He's like, oh, what do you think? You're very wise. Do you write poetry or something?
I do write poetry. My poetry is beautiful, and I rolled a dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, you pass.
You're not even that funny.
He kind of like looks at you and is like, but you're an imbecile. How?
I know you are, but what am I?
High fives himself. He's like, an imbecile. That is going to be your turn.
Okay. I gonna hit this time. I'm gonna attack hard. Wow. Okay, so a nat 2, but also a 21 to hit because advantage.
Sure, yeah, 21's gonna hit.
Okay. I'm gonna Divine Smite him again.
Okay.
I need to do some damage to this fucking dork.
He's like dodging out of the way.
Oh.
Yeah, you sound really titillated over there.
I rolled so good on the damage die. An 8, a 7, and a 7.
All right, give us that number, math minor.
All right, bitch.
Good thing you cut out for that.
Well, I didn't say anything inappropriate. That's gonna be 26 damage halved to 13.
Yeah, he's still up, but he definitely has a moment of like, huh! And he like doesn't have a quip to say back because you've like knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah, who's imbecile now?
So you shout this out. And as this kind of fight has been going on, there was like a storm that started brewing outside the windows. This is like in the gym building, which is connected to the half of the building that's the older side of the building, so it's still kind of older. And this gym building actually hangs, like this room that you're in kind of hangs over this cliff's edge down right to the lake, which is below hand. And it's a decent drop. It's not the end of the world, but it's pretty. You know, you're higher up here right now. And there's been this storm kind of like outside and these like rumbling, rolling clouds that have been getting kind of worse and worse as the fight has gotten deeper and deeper. A little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning here and there. You guys are all welcome to roll me a perception check.
11.
9.
8.
So
serious weather, huh?
You guys are all like enraptured in your current combats. Each of you paired off with somebody who, in this moment at the very least, seems like your biggest adversary. Garth fighting his friend from childhood, or his frenemy from childhood, who has always kind of been this give or take between you and Moore. We have Derek fighting Evan, this new guy who has immediately come for you and your weaker form of magic, which is something that you are trying to get more in touch with, which has been seen as really insulting. And Andre, your eternal fight with your sisters, who are, this fight with Odette represents almost every fight you've had to be put in with Odette or Giselle, your older sister, and the competition that has been bred in you from birth, that you can never see this person truly as your ally and always a little bit as your adversary. And as you all really dedicated to the current fights you're in, you don't notice as the storm outside gets worse and worse and the winds start to whip around more and more, and you're not out there and you don't see this, but the water is they're tornadoes that are whipping up the water below hand, and the water is getting flung up and hitting the windowsill and the window panes, and then all in one moment all of the windows crash in as a flood of water pours in from the windows all around, filling up this area and then coming together and forming a golem-like figure entirely made out of the lake water, who is standing in the center and looking out at all of you, and he reaches his hand up, and we are going to end our session here.
Oh my god.
It's
I'm
a Cliffy.
so glad I wasted all my good stuff on a fight that didn't matter.
I know.
As each of you wasted more stuff, I was like, yes, waste your stuff.
I'm just glad I didn't, spend both key points on him, because I was about to flurry on him with advantage on all 3 of those attacks.
I will say at least I can heal you guys still, but I only have 1 spell left, and that's not gonna be helpful.
And some loose
9 hit
Cheerios.
points.
And some loose
And some
Cheerios.
loose Cheerios.
You always got loose Cheerios.
I'm
Damn.
happy about that.
Usually I feel like I'm ahead of people.
That was a great night overall. We'll talk more in our private post game. But before we sign off for Bert's channel, why don't we go around and anyone can plug or promote anything they're interested in promoting. I'm Tess Henry. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Tess Does Instagram. I also have a TikTok that is at TrainwreckTess, which I also kind of focus on and have a little bit more followers on. So you guys are welcome to find me on either of those apps. And I should be doing a virtual comedy show coming up in the next week, actually, maybe. So I'll be posting about that if you'd like to come see me do virtual comedy. Why don't we go around? Dan, do you have anything you want to promote to the group?
I just listened to Foo Fighters' most recent album. I thought it was pretty good.
gotta love fucking promoting a band you're not a part of, but just you're really
I'm a big fan.
Dude,
Echo
they're
Silent
good.
Stage and Grace is really important to me as a kid.
Jake, do you have anything you wanna promote? Want anyone to find you anywhere?
My name's Jake, and I would like to promote libraries. Go read a book so you're not as dumb as me. That joke's less funny now that Dan didn't promote something that's real.
Excuse me. Medicine at Midnight's very real. It dropped last Friday.
Sorry, didn't promote something he's not actually doing.
And Bert, do you wanna promote something for your audience here?
I want to promote my homies who have been a part of this. Just please, when these guys have real things to promote, actually listen to them. They're all great freaking dudes.
I had something
too. I don't know.
They're all great freaking dudes.
I'm sorry, I derailed this whole thing. I'm sorry.
Dude, such nards.
You're all the worst.
Go
Bert,
check
do you
out.
have anything to sign off with?
Yeah, just I'm so. Tess is gonna sign off for this week. Tess is gonna do the sign off this week. Do it, Tess.
Oh, I'm not gonna do. I'll cue you up. The doorbell just rang, and they're asking if somebody ordered a pizza.
Who ordered the pizza?